Hi, everybody. Okay, we're going to be learning about beginning silent letters today, which are W, R, G, N, and K. And this is really important because they are beginning. So, a lot of times when we are trying to decode unknown words, we might say that sound at the beginning and we're not supposed to, which can really throw us off when they're words we don't know. And then if we are saying silent sounds, we're not supposed to, it really slows down our decoding. Remember, we want to be efficient and effective problem solvers. So let's learn about a little bit more about beginning silent letters today. So I have a little story for you. Has some beginning and some ending silent letters in it. See if you can find them. Long ago, in a land far away, there lived a young knight who was very solemn. He tried his best to be noble and kind. He would climb the castle wall to save a trapped kitten. He would knead the dough when the chef's knuckles were sore. One autumn, he even saved a lost lamb that had wandered to the wrong castle. Still, the king would not trust the knight with great tasks because the knight had one terrible flaw. He was so very noisy. I need to move myself. There we go. When he walked, his steps could be heard by a gnome miles away. His knees popped, his wrists crackled, and his voice sounded like a bomb, even if he tried to whisper. Hope you found some of them. Let's learn a little bit more. I sometimes like to call silent letters ghost digraphs. And that's because, they're digraphs because we know that two letters can make one sound. And it's ghost because the ghost swallows up one of the sounds and we don't say it. So even though there's two letters, it's still only making one sound, which makes it a digraph. And so these are our ghost digraphs. So they all have one letter that the ghost swallows and makes it silent. So you may hear me call them silent letters or ghost digraphs. Just remember, because we do see a couple of the silent letters as ending blends, and so you will need to know the difference between the two. Okay, here's just another little anchor chart for you. Just remember that two letters equal one sound for a digraph. So even though one of the letters is silent, there's two letters still, so it makes a digraph. Okay, so what are silent letters? Silent letters are letters that you can't hear when you say the word, but that are there when you write the word. And that's super important because there is a big difference between K-N-O-W and N-O. So K-N-O-W is no, like I know the answer, and N-O is no, like no, I won't do that. And if you are writing something and you don't know how to spell the correct word, what you say changes completely. I know the answer is way different than no, I don't want to pay you $500,000. Big difference. There aren't really any rules. You just have to learn them. And the silent letters can prove a problem to students. So it's important to know what words have silent letters. So we're going to look a little bit more at them. So our first one is W-R. I'm going to move myself over here. W-R. And this one we are going to find only at the beginning of words. W-R, the W is silent. It just says like don't write wrong. It could be like wrap, wrist, and wrestle. So you are going to find WR at the beginning. Remember, we're talking about beginning silent letters anyways today. So we're going to be finding all of these at the beginning of words. So the first letter is silent. So try to remember that. The W is silent. It makes the sound. Okay, here are some examples. We have words like wrench, wrecked, wrestle, wrist, wren, wreath. I mean, I feel like I'm having some tongue twisters here. Wrong, wrinkles. So all will make that sound. Our next one is GN, and the G is silent. You can actually find this at the beginning or the end of a word. More times you're going to find it at the end of a word, but you also will see it at the beginning, like gnat, So the G is silent. We just make the N sound. And they're used at the beginning or the end. Also might see it in words like sign. So that's why it's important to know silent letters, because if you didn't know the word sign and you were trying to figure it out, you would want to know that G is silent, because ign, signa, you're not getting too far with that one. So it's really important to know the difference there. Here, I just have to keep moving myself around. That's okay. Here are some examples of words with GN. So at the beginning, we see them like nash, gnaw, gnat, new. That's kind of like a deer. Gnarl and gnome. I would say gnat, those little black bugs, and gnome are the ones that we probably come across the most. And then we do see them at the end, like in rain, design, assign, align, resign, and sign. So those are GN words. And then we have KN. KN, the K is silent. And this is knight, like a knight in shining armor. And that's why it's important to have the K, because if you are running to write about a knight in shining armor, but you forget the K, you are now writing about it is nighttime out and it's dark, and you may confuse your reader. So we only use KN at the beginning of a word, like knights and knockout. Okay, here are some examples. Knife, knuckle, knit, knot, knock, knee, kneel, knob, no, known. We have a lot of KN words. So knowing that the K is silent will be super helpful for you. Okay, application, we are going to play some games with beginning silent letters, or I will assign you something to do with your silent letters. Keep practicing these, and thank you for joining me on this journey of beginning silent letters. Check in for my other video on ending silent letters, which goes with this one. Thanks, guys.